capstone project during the time period that they're in their clinical rotations, which is all of summer quarter and the part of spring quarter. So it's like 16 weeks total. And it's a case study presentation that's supposed to be inspired by a patient that they encountered, like with HIPAA and everything. Can't be, that's be inspired by.
Yeah, right.
And in the past, the students have run into some problems with the site not really being comfortable with that project.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to do another option where they generate a case study using AI and then evaluate that case study about whether or not it's accurate. So it's a little bit
Mm,
different with the same goal of basic, because ultimately the entire goal is that like they are now synthesizing the lab data from multiple departments. It's not just like, okay, we're only focusing on hematology right now, or we're only focusing on chemistry right now. Like these are health conditions that are complex. Like even, I mean, a UTI, like that patient potentially could be seen in multiple departments.
okay.
And so having them, like if they're using a patient in that is inspired by a patient that they saw in the lab, then the idea is that they would pull that lab information together themselves and be like their bacteria grew and that's what caused the infection, but it was also affecting their chemistries kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I just don't know how to write a prompt that is that complex
Mm,
where AI would then generate a case study that they could evaluate similarly.
mm. Okay. So are they gonna still do the one that's inspired? Are you trying to do both, or is it
I think
you?
it could be one or the other.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, and just I think if it was like okay, so if you have I guess the one with AI would be more like backwards of the inspired by. It's
Mm-hmm.
like okay, well here's what AI says,
Yeah.
and now they have to go in and say why it's maybe where it got it right, where it got it wrong, kind of thing.
It sounds like maybe that would be like they would do that activity first, and then they could do the other activity where they're creating it on their own.
That's an option. I'm terrible at making up case studies. It's a lot harder than
Oh
than
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
sounds.
no,
So,
for sure.
um, but yeah, I mean, it's still kind of a thought process where I'm at with it. So,
Okay. Um, I'm thinking so there's a couple different options. Do you know about the GPTs inside of ChatGPT?
I know, yeah, I know about them. I just have never created one.
Yeah, they're pretty easy to make. Like it's you just do a conversation and then just tell it what you want, but it's the fine tuning it that's the tricky part because like you'll give it all the information that you think it needs, but then it doesn't give the output exactly as you want.
Right.
And it also gives output in different formats. Um, and so yeah, it's a lot of back and forth, like trying to get that. The other option would be to create a prompt that they can use where they can just, you have a document or a page and they have a prompt and they just copy the prompt and then put that in. Um, so I would say like, if you're just trying to use, basic, they can use whatever AI they want. The prompt is nice. Um, Having the GPT there as well, if you can create one that does what you want, um, that could also be good too. Like
Okay.
where nothing has to be or. There can be a lot of
Right.
ands here because that gives people different options. Um, and just stressing that like don't do everything like if you want to
Right.
do everything but like they're probably already so busy with stuff but like say okay option one would be copy the prompt, option two try the GPT. um we could try to set up a GPT right now if you want. I have time maybe.
Um, yeah, we could do that. I have already exceeded my limit of AI for the day.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I
Yep.
don't have
Okay.
that. So we can use mine and
Okay.
I can I don't know if you can make GPTs if you don't have the
The
pay
paid.
version. So,
Okay. I have an account. It's just the free version, you know.
okay.
So
I don't know if you
yeah.
can make GPTs with that yet, but I can
Okay.
make them. And so we could at least go through the process and then see what the output is and if it's anything that's useful.
Yeah.
Um, so the first thing that we would probably need is like any information about the class or the assignment. Do you have like you can just send me if you have it in Canvas or if you have it in as a document or
Yeah, I have it as a document. Let me pull it up. So
okay, you work on
and
that.
save it because I just changed it. And it's not it, I'm rewriting it. It has the instructions are there. It's not in don't judge the format. I'm redoing it.
Oh, I don't care anything about that anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure that you oops. I'm sure you have seen all kinds of things.
I mean, it's just
Let's see.
the key now is just getting the basic information in any format, and then you just have AI do like any sort of
Yeah.
cleanup on it.
How do I attach a file in Teams?
I think you would go up to chat at the top, and then
Oh, okay.
you have to do it within the chat.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. But I think the intro and the learning objectives are probably gonna or the learning objectives for sure are where I want them.
Yeah, hold on, just give me 1 second. I'm ready for. Okay, so let's see here. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So what I'm gonna do first is I took I asked you if we could start chatting earlier, if I could start recording because I wanted to take the context of you explaining the conversation. And so I opened up the transcript from that, and then I'm gonna say, here is the context of a project we need to work on. And then I'll put that one in there just so that it kind of gives a little bit to work with. And then download the file you just put in here. It opened the folder. It said it would download it, but I don't see it in the folder. Just give me a sec. Okay, download this. So I'm going to download it as a PDF. Oh, it's downloading it to a different folder. What is this? Oh, because this is
Oh, Teams. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Um okay, good. I got it. So now let's see what it says here. This is a solid instructional problem, good use case for AI. Students must synthesize lab data. So clarify the learning goal. Okay, reframe the assignment. How to structure the, okay, so it looks like it understands what's happening uh, overall. I'm gonna say, here is the assignment currently. If we want to create a GPT, how would you recommend going about doing that? So my new prompt strategy is just give it information, see if it understands, like just based on me just giving the information, and then asking what it would do.
Okay, that's a good idea. Like, how do you want me to write this prompt?
And then I look at it and I go, no, that's not right. Or I'll say, okay, yeah, this is good. So okay, capstone case builder, lab data auditor. Okay, let's check this. What should the GPT do? Based on the current assignment, the GPT should be designed to help students generate a fully fictional case that still fits the required format, right?
Hmm.
Ensure the case includes lab data from 3 departments. Support the students' clinical correlation and synthesis. Help with the reflection on the MLT role.
I don't want it to do that. I want the student to do that.
Okay, that's good. Let's say, actually, I'm going to open in a notepad. So I'm going to say the student needs to do this without the help of AI, right?
Yeah.
That's the struggle. Okay. What should not AI should not do? No real patient data. Okay. No treatment plans, right?
Right.
Okay. No claiming certainty. Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, so create a GPT with a clear role like. Okay, we're gonna do that in a second, but let's go ahead and change this part so I can actually call that specific part out and say, what did I say what we're gonna do? The students need to do this without the help of AI. The GPT should not be student facing. It becomes an instructor only design and quality control tool. But you want the students to make it, or do you want to make them, or do you want the students to make them?
I want the students to make them.
Okay. Students will make the case studies with the GPT and then reflect. Yeah, reflect on the, or it's not reflect, it's not analyze. Evaluate.
Yeah, they'll evaluate yeah.
Evaluate the AI created or the specific GPT created output. Okay, GPT is not helping them write the project. It's generating case artifact that they audit, critique, correct, and defend. Okay, so now it's going to give me the steps here. I'm just going to say, give me what I need to copy and paste. Oh no, it's still going. Okay, let's go over this real quick and see if it makes sense. We're going to call MLT case study generator. It's going to create 100% fictional case study, 3 departments. And it's going to avoid these. Make the assignment, evaluate the AI by design, generate a fictional case study, audit the case study for accuracy, plausibility, internal consistency. Is this all good?
Yes.
Okay. Add the required deliverables. Um, oh, having them include what the GPT wrote. A lab accuracy audit table. Students label each major part as accurate, questionable, incorrect. Oh, that's pretty good. That's like a
I
way
like
to,
that.
and then a correction justification section. Okay, the magical ingredient, intentional flaws. If the GPT generates a perfect case, students can coast. Do we want inconsistent values in there? Or do you think it'll just do it automatically. It'll
I
automatically hallucinate.
I suspect it will automatically hallucinate.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I mean, um, I think that that would be something to play with, like see what
Okay.
it does without it or without telling it to make mistakes first, and then see how good it is.
Okay.
I mean, I went to that conference recent or like this past week, and one
Yeah.
person did say that they had used some AI generated case studies, and that the biggest thing was that reference ranges weren't included. And I'm like, well, I don't really like that's not a big deal to me. I'm looking more. So, I mean, it sounds like we might have to tell it to make a
Okay.
mistake. Yeah.
Let's see what this comes up with, and then we can adjust it from there.
Okay.
Okay, so if you want, I can now do the next step. Yep, that's what I want. Not this one. So just do one. Okay, so now we're gonna get a prompt here. And so we'll open up GPTs and we'll create one. And then just gonna copy it from here. I'm gonna try to see, this might be too much at first. Let's just go to, well, let's see what happens. Uh, have you done this before or seen anybody do the GPT?
I've just seen it. Yeah, I've never
Okay.
done it.
It basically just makes an app. I mean, like an app where you can interact with a GPT that focuses on a specific. We did this. I feel like we've done this before in the framework course. Okay.
Really?
I don't know. I just had a deja vu. It might have been a different class.
We did like I remember as a participant in one of the in-service days, there was some interacting with a
Oh, maybe
GPT.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we call on this one? MLT case study generator or
Uh, yeah, I like that.
okay, call it that. Okay, so then it's got these ones that are automatically created. Generate a fictional adult sepsis lab case, create an MLT case involving anemia, produce a cross department. Does it need to be limited to a certain like uh not disease or like some sort of health problem?
No, it's not limited. I do tell the students that generally things like that seem really boring, are are more straightforward. So even like UTI, just typical, nothing. I try not to let them or have them do anything too weird.
Okay, okay.
Like some patient with this obscure genetic condition that only three people on Earth have, kind of thing.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, I want to make sure that this GPT isn't like picking up the random, Dr. House
Right.
type
No,
of.
these things that it's suggested so far are totally
Okay.
appropriate.
Okay, okay, so now we're looking for updates. When the GPT generates a case, how challenging do you want the audit issues to be by default?
Moderate.
Okay. All right. So that gives us editing here. All right, here is, I'll put this in the chat if you want to read
Okay.
this while it like makes its thing, does its thing. Oh, and let me bring you back when there's specific questions for you here. So when generating the student evaluation prompts, should they lean more towards open-ended and analytical questions, a balanced mix, or more targeted prompts?
Hmm.
Like these, I think that it's talking about these ones over here. So
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
do you have like a default? You can change these to whatever you want, like here. But if we put
Okay.
the instructions in, then it'll automatically, make sure that it's something that you want them to start with.
Okay.
You could also take them
Um,
away. So you could just have the students. But like usually it's nice. So imagine your student will come in to this GPT and then it'll have this at the top and then it will have these if they want to like they just press it and then it does it.
okay. I'd rather take them away.
Okay. So we'll just say we don't need any starting prompts. The students will describe something? How do you envision them? Like once they get to this, what are they gonna type or
Yeah.
say?
So I guess what I'm envisioning is, I mean, maybe it is still inspired by a patient that they saw in the lab, so then they could put in the condition themselves.
Hmm. We'll describe the conditions themselves when they access the GPT. Okay, that's good. And what's nice, they have it's got the dictate here, so you could have them just speak it into the.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, I've removed the predefined starting prompts and set the GPT to respond directly to student described conditions. At this point, the core behavior, difficulty level, structure, and presentation are all aligned. All right, let's go ahead and give it a shot. So, create this for now. We'll change it to anybody with the link can chat. And then I'll put this into the chat. And then we'll try it and then see how it goes. So, do you have an example of what a student would say?
I think, I mean, just let's see. I'm gonna do diabetic ketoacidosis.
So you just say it, and then I'll just copy it from the transcript.
Sure. Yeah, so diabetic ketoacidosis.
Oh, I mean, that's it. They're just gonna come in and say
Probably just say
diabetic.
that, yeah, I mean, the patient has high blood
Oh, okay.
sugar and yeah.
So the patient has high blood sugar,
Uh-huh. And maybe suspecting
and I suspect.
keto, yeah, I suspect diabetic ketoacidosis.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you would want to also include that, like what they how they should prompt it.
Okay.
I don't like that it says the fictional laboratory case study like right away. Or just change it to how it would really be.
Yeah.
And it keeps saying fictitious, fictitious. Okay.
I think I had it come up. I'm like, I need 10 pretend patient names. And it was like, these are in bold, pretend absolutely fake patient
Oh
names,
my
not related
God.
to anybody anywhere. And I'm like, I bet they've gotten in trouble before
Yeah.
where it wasn't clear.
Fictitious. Um, instructions are for you only and shouldn't be seen by the students. Instructor will tell them it's not real if they can't figure that out for themselves. Okay. So I'm just making notes as we're going down. Okay. So it's giving the laboratory findings. What are we thinking about this? Does this want to be
Yeah, those look reasonable.
okay? This one?
Yep, that looks good.
Um, good.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Is there anything that
And
needs to be changed on this
well, I don't want
format
them,
list?
I don't want it to come up with a preliminary interpretation. That's kind of where I want the
Oh,
students to start.
okay. Okay. Um, these are also not necessary.
Right.
Okay. Again. Is there something in the instructions that says it has to be? Okay, let's
I think
go.
there was. I think there was.
I'm gonna go to okay. So what the nice thing about okay, so how you saw the GPT works is so now I come back into it and then I give it my notes and then it will adjust its configuration and hopefully we'll get a better result. Actually, I'm gonna copy the same thing we started with. Oh no, what am I in right now? This is these were my original instructions. Okay. Oh, and what did we want the sorry, the student evaluation prompts, we wanted them to think of those too, or do we want to include those?
Um, I think that'll be probably, I mean, because the evaluation prompts are going to be the same for each, I mean, whatever they come up with, and those, because those were really specific. So I guess I would maybe want like more general prompts about do they make, like in general, where are the errors, or do these make sense?
Okay, so maybe that would be in the instructions for the
Yeah,
assignment. Okay.
yeah,
So let me just say that remove this. And the call these conversation starters. We just need it's basically you just need
the scenario.
yeah, but it's oh, okay, information about the patient. The students need to be doing all the rest.
Yep.
Um, okay. What are the called? The lab results? Is that
Yeah,
the thing they're looking at? Okay.
yeah,
That's mainly what they need. They just need the lab results.
yeah.
Okay.
And a little bit about symptoms that tends to help.
Okay, let's see. Date this. Date. And we'll try it one more time. So hold on, let's see. It was this, right? Patient has high blood pressure. You can try on your own too.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got the link in the chat already. Okay, 27-year-old adult. Several days of polyuria, polydipsia. Patient reports a decreased oral intake. And then it's got all these. Does this top part look okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then it goes, that's the last it goes to.
Okay.
Okay. Do we want to add a prompt of like, what should you do next, or just leave it like this and they can,
I think that would be enough. I
okay.
think that's fine. Yeah. And then in the instructions, I'll have them like you need to print out, you need to attach your entire conversation with the GPTs that
Mm,
tend to be what people usually do so that it
yeah,
can be like to see how they like converse with it.
yeah. Are you okay? And then yeah, I guess they would just select everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe you could try that one out, maybe with yourself, and then if you have notes, just pop them back to me and I can shoot them into the GPT.
Okay. And will they have to have an account or would they be able to use it without an
That's a good
account?
question. Let me check. I think because for a while it was only if you even if you just had a well, before it was you had to have an upgraded account, then it was
Hmm.
regular account, and then now it might be anybody. Let's try. This is a private window, so there's probably going to be a limit of how many interactions you can have, but this one it seems like you only really need one interaction,
Right.
right? Just to get the information and then make it based on that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Is that what you were thinking, or is there
Yeah.
okay?
I will play with it and put together some instructions and see how it goes.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That was fun.
Yeah,
Let me know how it goes.
I will. See you next time.
Bye.